Can you hear me? Don't be afraid, please. I'm down here. I know this must be hard to believe, but I'm your shadow. You're not hearing things. I'm sorry, I'm not sure what exactly to say to convince you. You must be so confused, but I'm pretty sure you felt my presence before. I've tried reaching out many times, and every time I feel you trying to hear me. I often see you looking at me when the high sun makes my figure extra visible on the burning pavement. I think you've sensed that I wasn't just a normal shadow. Let me introduce myself to you finally. My name is... It's a pleasure to be noticed. Though I've known you for quite a while. My name... Oh, I guess you wouldn't be able to understand our language, so you couldn't hear it. It doesn't matter. A name is just a name. What's behind the name is important. Don't you agree? You're still confused. I understand. I think I can clear some things up. Before that, you probably should go somewhere more private. You're the only one that can hear my voice, but if the other sun beings see you talking to me, they might cause you trouble. How about that forest path you used to frequent? Lovely. Let's go. Just be careful to stay in direct sunlight so my connection to you stays strong. There is another world that you are not aware of. My world. It's hard to describe using your language. It's a world without light, filled with beings like me. We use many different senses to interact with each other and the world. It's a beautiful place. I'd love to show it to you someday. The things you call shadows, the dark figures created by blocking the rays of your star, are kind of like windows for us to look into your world. We each get just one sun window, and you're mine. Human sun beings seem to play an important role for us, even though you're not of our world. We even have reason to believe that the birth of humans is directly related to the creation of each of us. I'm not your original shadow, though. They died a few years back. My previous window also broke around that time. So you were given to me. No, of course the sun beings and shadows don't stay the same for their entire lives. That would be ridiculous. What would we do if our sun windows were broken? Just live the rest of our lives without one? I mean, it wouldn't be unheard of. There are stories of such things. I've even heard of sun beings and shadow beings together since birth, and dying at the same time. These phenomena are still being studied, but such instances are few and far between. To explain simply, I appear as your shadow. You are my sun window, my looking glass into your world. We can't exist where there is light, so you give us the chance to be here in some form. We like to visit. Our world is vast, but it can feel a bit monotone. So, this place is so strange and exciting for us. For some reason, we can only use human sun beings, but not other things that cast shadows. No, sun beings are not aware of this reality. I'm not supposed to be talking to you, you know? It's strictly forbidden. But don't worry about me. I made preparations to make sure I wouldn't be found out. Our two worlds are meant to be separate, is what they teach us. There is also the fact that most humans who make contact with us go mad. So, it's a rule meant to protect you as well. Oh, I didn't mean to scare you. You're going to be fine, I'm sure of it. I've been watching you closely, and I know you can handle it. You're strong and resilient. You could say I've come to enjoy your presence even more than your world. Are you okay? Why did you look away? What is it now? You pulled back and you're looking at me really intensely. You're starting to see some of my features. I'm glad to hear that. It means our connection is getting stronger. What are you able to see? Hmm. Dark, messy hair, red eyes, gray skin. Yeah, that sounds like me. It must be weird for you to finally see me, so I understand your reaction. Be careful, though. You almost fell into that thorn bush. We're quite deep into the forest now. I think we can stop and rest here for a while. It doesn't look like there's anyone else here. We're alone. Just you and me. Nothing. You look like you want to ask me something. Like I said, I've been trying to reach you for a while. Actually, the way for us to talk to a sun being is mostly dependent on them. They have to pay close attention to us. The sun being needs to be curious and attentive enough not to ignore our barely audible pleas for their attention. Still, it could take years for them to catch a single word. You obviously showed interest in hearing what I had to say, so it was easier than I expected. I wanted to thank you for that. My world is wonderful, but I suppose this stuffy, overexposed landscape can take pride in having you as an inhabitant. You sure like to look away, don't you? Be careful. I've heard the sun can damage your eyes. It's funny how the thing you need to survive can also hurt you. I've long wondered how sunlight feels on your skin. No, I know what warmth feels like. We have warmth. just doesn't come with light. We have these hot pools of energy that flow from the ground and swirl around. They are very relaxing to lie in. We are also warm-blooded, so our bodies are warm too. You could try touching my hand, if you'd like. Sure, go ahead. I don't mind. You wouldn't normally be able to feel anything through the shadow, but since our connection has gotten so much stronger, you should be able to now. Neat, right? Doesn't it make me less scary now that you know my hands are warm too? I wondered when you'd finally ask me why I was so determined to talk to you, even though I'm not supposed to and it's so risky. To tell the truth, I've been feeling dull and lifeless for a while now. I realized I was spending most of my time looking through my sun window, to the point that I was neglecting my real life. It's not that I don't like my life, it's just that something was missing. I became too attached to you. I couldn't help but think about all the things we could talk about and the things I wanted to show you, so I know I said someday, but I want you to come to my world with me. Now. Just a visit, of course. You could come back whenever you'd like. I've been looking into it, and I'm sure it's possible for you to come into this world through me, as long as our connection is strong enough. Really, your body here would just stay asleep as long as you're there, and you would wake up the moment you wanted to come back. Our connection has become so strong that it wouldn't be difficult at all. I can tell that my presence in your world has gotten even more lifelike. At the start, you looked at me like I was a mirage or nothing more than a voice in your head, but now I can tell you see me as a person. You can see me, hear me, touch me like any other thing in your world. Now, I want to share my world with you too. And you'll see it's nothing like you've ever experienced, and we'd be able to interact more deeply, rather than just a sun being in their shadow. We'd be on equal ground in a beautiful new landscape of dark excellence and mystery. I want to show it to you. I can't be your window, but I can be your door. And all you need to do is step through. You can't know. You have no reason to trust me. All you can do is listen to what I have to say and decide what you want to do. You can go home. Say the word and I will never bother you again. You could pretend that this conversation never happened, and I could go back to my world alone. Only coming back to look through the window and wonder about what could have been. Or you can take my hand. It's all I can offer in this state, but I promise to give you so much more if you take the leap into the warm embrace of the unknown. What do you say? I'm so glad. Thank you, darling. You're truly so kind to have graciously surrendered your body. Don't worry. I'm sure you'll learn to enjoy your new existence. It's not so bad when you get used to it. But personally speaking, I couldn't wait to try out this world. Not just as an observer, but as a full-on sun being. It feels so different. I can't believe you can tolerate this brightness every single day. It kind of hurts. Please, my dear, don't be like that. I might have lied when I said you could come back whenever you wanted, but I was being honest when I said I've come to like you. Now you can come and visit me whenever you want. Eventually, you'll learn to understand why I was so desperate to come into the light. It's nothing personal. I'm still quite shocked at how easy you were to manipulate. I was so lucky to be matched with you all those years ago. Look at me now, standing in the sunlight and free to do as I please. Ah, you're right. It seems I've kept some of my features, but I'm sure they'll adjust to the new environment in time. Just as my eyes are already starting to adjust to the light. You look a bit different too, my dear. You hadn't noticed. Your skin has already started to reflect tones of gray, and your eyes have started to change color. Don't be afraid. I do feel a tiny bit bad for forcing this change on you. But I was determined to come here. No matter how scary it might seem right now, you can rest easy knowing your eyes will certainly adjust to the darkness. And if it's any consolation, I'll be here. The sunlight, it feels so nice